Welcome to the channel Error Coins Hunter. What if I told you that a simple penny from the year 2000, something you might have tossed into a tip jar or left rolling around in your car's cup holder, could be worth an absolutely staggering $12 million? Yes, you heard that right, $12 million. Most people see pennies as practically worthless, barely worth the effort to bend down and pick up off the sidewalk. But this particular coin, the 2000D Lincoln penny, has become one of the most sought-after treasures in the entire numismatic world. And if you have one hiding in your pocket change right now, your life could change forever. Now, before we dive deep into what makes this penny so incredibly valuable, I need you to understand something crucial. This channel is all about uncovering hidden fortunes that might be sitting right under your nose, and today's video is packed with information that could literally make you rich. So make sure you stick around until the very end, because the details I'm about to share could be the difference between spending a fortune and earning one. The 2000D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, Colorado, at the United States Mint facility that has been producing coins for over a century. And in the year 2000 alone, billions of pennies were struck and released into circulation across America. The D mint mark, which you'll find just below the date on the obverse side of the coin, indicates that this penny came from the Denver Mint. And while most of these pennies are worth exactly 1 cent, there exists an extraordinarily rare variety that has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and treasure hunters worldwide. So what makes this particular 2000 D penny worth $12 million when billions of them were made? The answer lies in a fascinating and extremely rare minting error that occurred during production. An error so subtle that most people would never notice it without careful examination, yet so significant that it transforms an ordinary penny into a numismatic masterpiece worth more than most people earn in multiple lifetimes. The specific error we're talking about is an incredibly rare die clash combined with a wide AM variety, which means the dies that strike the coins came together without a planchet between them, creating a mirror image on the dies themselves. And then when actual pennies were struck afterward, they carried ghostly impressions and abnormalities that serious collectors can identify under magnification. Additionally, the wide AM error refers to the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side of the coin. On most 2000 D pennies, these letters are close together, almost touching, which is the standard design for pennies from this era. But on the rare error variety, there's a noticeable gap between the A and M, indicating that the wrong die variety was used during production, a mistake that should never have happened at the mint. The combination of multiple errors on a single coin is what drives the value into the stratosphere, because numismatists know that the more unique and unrepeatable an error is, the more desirable and valuable it becomes. When the first examples of this extraordinary 2000 D error penny began surfacing in the early 2000s, the coin collecting community went absolutely wild with excitement. Auction houses started receiving calls from collectors desperate to acquire one of these rare specimens, and as word spread through numismatic publications, online forums, and coin shows, the value began climbing at an unprecedented rate. The highest recorded auction sale for a pristine, certified example of this error reached an absolutely mind-blowing $12 million. Making it one of the most valuable pennies ever sold in history. Just imagine, someone paid the price of a luxury mansion, a private jet, or a portfolio of investment properties for a single 1-cent coin that weighs just 2.5 grams. This isn't just about the metal value or even the historical significance alone. It's about rarity, condition, provenance, and the passion of collectors who will stop at nothing to own a piece of minting history. The story of how these error coins escaped the mint is itself fascinating. Quality control at the United States Mint is typically very rigorous, with multiple inspection stages designed to catch errors before coins reach circulation. But occasionally, mistakes slip through the cracks, especially during high-volume production periods. In the year 2000, the Denver Mint was producing billions of pennies to meet the demand of a growing economy. And during the rush of production, a small number of these error pennies made it past inspectors and into circulation, where they mixed with countless normal pennies in banks, stores, and cash registers across the country. For years, these rare treasures sat unnoticed in piggy banks, coin jars, and forgotten drawers, while their owners had absolutely no idea they were holding potential fortunes in their hands. The first documented discovery of a 2000 wide AM era penny was made by a sharp-eyed collector who was sorting through rolls of pennies purchased from a local bank. This collector, who had spent years learning about mint errors and varieties, immediately recognized the unusual spacing in America and sent the coin to a professional grading service for authentication and certification. When the coin came back graded as genuine and in excellent condition, the numismatic world took notice, and the hunt was on. Suddenly, collectors across America started checking their 2000 pennies with renewed intensity, using magnifying glasses and microscopes to examine every detail. And while most found only normal pennies, a lucky few discovered they were holding lottery tickets in the form of these error coins. The certification process for these rare pennies is absolutely critical to their value. Coins must be submitted to reputable third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC, where expert numismatists examine them under high-power magnification, verify the authenticity of the errors, and assign a grade based on the coin's condition, with grades ranging from poor 1 to perfect 70. A 2000 wide AM error penny in low grade might be worth thousands, but a specimen grading MS 68 or higher, meaning it's in near-perfect mint state condition with virtually no marks, scratches, or imperfections, could command that $12 million price tag at auction. The difference between grades can mean the difference between a nice windfall and generational wealth, which is why serious collectors take such extreme care in preserving and handling these coins. When you're searching for this error, here's exactly what to look for. First, grab all your 2000 pennies and examine the reverse side where you see the Lincoln Memorial. Focus specifically on the word America at the top of the memorial, and look closely at the space between the A and the M. On a normal 2000 penny, these letters are very close together, with the bottom serifs nearly touching. But on the error variety, there's a visible gap between them, and once you train your eye, this difference becomes impossible to miss. Additionally, look for any signs of die clashing, which might appear as faint, ghost-like impressions of the opposite side of the coin showing through on both the obverse and reverse. These might look like extra lines, shadows, or texture that doesn't belong in the design. Use good lighting, preferably natural daylight or a bright LED lamp, and a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe with at least 10x magnification to carefully inspect each coin. And remember that even if you think you've found one, it's worth investing in professional authentication because so many factors determine authenticity and value. The market for rare error coins has exploded in recent years, driven by increased interest from both traditional collectors and new investors who see rare coins as alternative assets that can appreciate significantly over time. Unlike stocks, bonds, or real estate, rare coins are tangible assets you can hold in your hand. They're not subject to the same market volatilities, and they have a proven track record of value retention and appreciation spanning centuries. The 2000 error penny represents the perfect storm of factors that create value. It's from a recent year that people still remember and might have saved. It has multiple dramatic errors that make it unmistakably different from normal coins. It exists in extremely limited quantities, with possibly only a handful of high-grade examples known to exist. And it has captured the imagination of collectors in a way that drives fierce competition at auctions. Stories abound of people discovering these treasures in the most unexpected places. One collector found a specimen in a jar of old foreign coins at a yard sale, paying just 50 cents for a container that included a $12 million penny. Another lucky individual discovered one while counting out exact change at a grocery store and quickly swapped it with a regular penny from their wallet, walking away with a fortune that would change their family's life forever. These aren't just urban legends or wishful thinking. These are documented cases that prove lightning can strike, and ordinary people can stumble upon extraordinary wealth. The emotional impact of such a discovery cannot be overstated. Imagine the moment of realization when you're looking at your coin under magnification and you suddenly recognize the telltale signs of the wide AM error. Your heart starts pounding. Your hands might shake slightly as you carefully set the coin down and double-check what you're seeing. And then the wave of excitement and disbelief washes over you as you comprehend that you're holding something worth millions. It's the kind of moment that happens once in a lifetime, the kind of story you'll tell your grandchildren, and the kind of discovery that proves that careful attention and knowledge really can pay off in spectacular ways. So what should you do if you think you've found one of these incredible error pennies? First and foremost, do not clean it. Cleaning coins destroys their value and can reduce $1 million coin to just a few dollars. So resist any temptation to make it shiny. Handle the coin only by its edges to avoid putting fingerprints or oils on the surfaces, and store it in a protective holder like a cardboard flip or plastic capsule to prevent scratches or environmental damage. Next, take clear, close-up photographs of both sides of the coin, paying special attention to the area showing the error, and if possible, share these photos with experienced collectors in online forums to get preliminary opinions. Then, submit the coin to a professional grading service for authentication and encapsulation. Yes, this costs money, typically $30 to $100 depending on the service level you choose, but it's absolutely worth it if you genuinely have found an error coin, because certified authentication is essential for realizing maximum value. Once your coin is certified, you can decide whether to sell it immediately through auction houses like Heritage, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections, or whether to hold it as an investment that might appreciate even further over time. The $12 million question everyone wants answered is, are there more of these error pennies still out there waiting to be discovered? The answer is almost certainly yes. Billions of 2000D pennies were produced, and while the error variety is extremely rare, it's statistically likely that some examples remain in circulation or hidden in collections, completely unrecognized and undervalued. Every day, people spend pennies without giving them a second glance, tossing them into charity donation boxes, leaving them in take-a-penny trays, or simply discarding them as worthless. But among those countless ordinary pennies could be hiding treasures worth millions. This is why education and awareness are so important in the coin collecting community, and it's why videos like this one could literally change someone's life by teaching them what to look for and how to recognize value when they see it. The story of the 2000 D. Lincoln penny error is ultimately a story about possibility, about the magic that happens when history, craftsmanship, and accident intersect to create something truly extraordinary, and about how everyday object can harbor unexpected value if we just take the time to look closely. So here's what I want you to do right now. Grab every 2000D penny you can find. Pull out those old coin jars, check your car's console, look through that change bowl on your dresser, and start examining each one carefully, because you might be just one coin away from $12 million. And remember, fortune favors the observant, the curious, and those who never stop learning about the amazing world of rare coins. Could you be the next person to discover a hidden treasure? There's only one way to find out. Start searching. Thank you so much for watching Error Coins Hunter, and remember to check every single coin that passes through your hands, because you never know when you might be holding the key to your financial freedom.